Have you ever questioned your faith in the face of scientific skepticism? I know I have, but today we're looking at evidence that might just bridge the gap between faith and fact. Join me as we explore the latest findings from the Ararat Mountains in Turkey. Together, we'll examine the 3D scans that are causing even the most hardened skeptics to take a second look at the story of Noah's Ark. This could be the proof we've been praying for. Are you ready to strengthen your faith with facts? I understand. I'll write the script section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English structured in paragraphs without any tags or headings. I'll begin now. In 1959, a Turkish cartographer named Captain İlhan Durupınar made a discovery that would spark decades of debate and intrigue. While examining aerial photographs of eastern Turkey, he spotted an unusual boat-shaped formation near Mount Ararat. This curious find, now known as the Durupınar site, has since become a focal point for those seeking evidence of Noah's Ark. The Durupınar Formation is located in the Doğu Bayazıt district of Ara province, about 18 miles south of Mount Ararat. Its distinctive shape immediately caught the attention of researchers and biblical enthusiasts alike. The site measures approximately 515 feet long and 138 feet wide, dimensions that align remarkably well with the biblical description of Noah's Ark in Genesis 6:15, which states the ark was 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. This apparent correlation has led many to believe that the Durupınar site could indeed be the final resting place of Noah's Ark. Supporters argue that the formation's size, shape, and location near Mount Ararat, traditionally associated with the Ark's landing place, are too coincidental to dismiss. They point to the site's boat-like contours and its position, which appears to show a large vessel that came to rest on the side of a hill. However, skeptics have put forward compelling arguments against the Durupınar site being Noah's Ark. Geologists argue that the formation is likely a natural phenomenon, possibly resulting from a mud flow that created the boat-like shape. They note that the region is prone to such geological processes, and similar formations can be found elsewhere in the area. Critics also point out that if this were truly a massive wooden structure, it would be unlikely to maintain its shape so well after thousands of years of exposure to the elements. The debate has raged on for decades, with both sides presenting evidence to support their claims. Believers have conducted numerous expeditions to the site, searching for tangible proof of the Ark's presence. They've reported finding wood fragments, animal droppings, and even petrified wood within the formation. Skeptics, however, maintain that these findings are either misidentified natural materials or are not conclusively linked to an ancient ark. As the controversy continued, researchers turned to more advanced methods to investigate the Durupınar site. Ground-penetrating radar surveys have been conducted to peer beneath the surface and potentially reveal hidden structures or anomalies that could indicate the presence of a man-made object. The results of these surveys have been mixed and open to interpretation. Some researchers claim that the radar data shows regular patterns and structures consistent with a large, boat-shaped object. They point to what they believe are deck levels, chambers, and even metal fittings within the formation. However, other experts caution that interpreting ground-penetrating radar data as complex and natural geological formations can sometimes produce results that appear artificial. While the Durupınar site continues to fascinate and divide opinion, it remains just one piece of a larger puzzle. The search for Noah's Ark faces numerous challenges, from the practical difficulties of investigating remote mountain locations to the complex task of verifying the age and origin of any potential artifacts. As we continue our exploration, we must consider not only the physical evidence, but also the historical and cultural context surrounding the biblical flood narrative. Understood? I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. Here's the section. While the search for Noah's Ark continues, another mystery has captivated researchers and biblical scholars alike. Imagine a wood so extraordinary that God Himself specified its use for the most important vessel ever built. What properties could this gopher wood possess, and why has its true identity eluded us for millennia? The Bible mentions that Noah's Ark was constructed from a material called gopher wood, but the exact nature of this timber remains a subject of debate. Identifying the Ark's building material is crucial for several reasons. First, it could provide valuable clues about the Ark's construction and its ability to withstand the Great Flood. Second, knowing the type of wood used might help researchers narrow down potential locations where the Ark could have been built or where its remains might be found. Several theories have emerged about the true identity of gopher wood. Some researchers propose that it could be cypress or cedar, both known for their durability and resistance to decay. These properties would have been essential for a vessel intended to survive a prolonged period in water. Cypress and cedar contain natural oils that help prevent rot, making them ideal candidates for shipbuilding in ancient times. Another intriguing, though less widely accepted theory suggests that gopher wood might refer to coconut palm. This tropical tree is known for its water-resistant properties, which would certainly be beneficial for a massive ark. However, this theory faces a significant challenge. Coconut palms don't naturally grow in the region where the ark was said to have been built. This geographical mismatch makes coconut palm a less likely candidate for gopher wood. When considering the feasibility of these options, we must take into account the regional availability of different wood types. Cypress and cedar were readily available in the area traditionally associated with Noah's Ark, making them more plausible choices. Historical trade routes might have facilitated the introduction of exotic woods to the region, but the primary candidates for gopher wood remain the more traditional options, like cypress and cedar. The search for the identity of gopher wood reflects a broader human curiosity about ancient shipbuilding techniques and the materials used in monumental constructions like Noah's Ark. It's a quest that combines biblical scholarship, botany, and archaeology, challenging researchers to think creatively about how ancient people might have solved complex engineering problems. Based on current research, the most likely candidates for gopher wood appear to be cypress or cedar. These wood types combine the necessary durability, rot resistance, and regional availability that would have made them suitable for building a massive vessel like Noah's Ark. However, it's important to note that despite the various theories and ongoing research, the true identity of gopher wood remains a mystery, much like the Ark itself. As we continue our exploration of Noah's Ark, the question of gopher wood serves as a reminder of the many puzzles that still surround this biblical account. While we may never know with absolute certainty what material was used to construct the Ark, the search for gopher wood has led to fascinating insights into ancient woodworking and shipbuilding techniques. Moving beyond the question of building materials, researchers are also seeking other physical evidence that could support the Ark narrative. From fossilized remains to geological formations, the hunt for tangible proof of the Great Flood continues to captivate scientists and believers alike. Understood. I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. Here's the section. While researchers scour the earth for physical evidence of Noah's Ark, an even more intriguing pattern has emerged. Imagine a story so powerful it's been told and retold across continents and millennia. What could drive over 250 distinct cultures to preserve strikingly similar accounts of a world-engulfing flood? The concept of a great flood isn't unique to the Bible. Anthropologists have identified flood myths in cultures spanning the globe, from the ancient Mesopotamians to the indigenous peoples of the Americas. These stories share remarkable similarities despite vast geographical and cultural differences. Many feature a divine figure, warning a chosen individual, the construction of a vessel to preserve life, and the ultimate survival and repopulation of the earth. The prevalence of these narratives raises intriguing questions. Are these stories merely coincidental, or do they point to a shared historical event? To answer this, we must look at the role of major rivers in early human civilizations. Many of the world's earliest and most advanced societies developed along great rivers like the Nile, Tigris, Euphrates, Ganges, and China's Yellow and Yangtze rivers. These waterways were crucial for agriculture, transportation, and trade. However, they also posed a constant threat of flooding. For river-centered cultures, floods were among the most common and devastating natural disasters they faced, alongside famine and disease. The frequency and impact of these flood events likely etched themselves deep into cultural memories. Generation after generation, stories of great floods would have been passed down, growing in scale and significance with each retelling. Over time, localized flood experiences could have evolved into grand narratives of world-engulfing waters, reflecting the profound impact these events had on ancient peoples. Recent geological discoveries have provided evidence of major flooding events in ancient history, suggesting that such occurrences could have inspired the widespread flood narratives found in various cultures. These findings lend credence to the idea that flood myths might have a basis in actual historical events, albeit ones that have been amplified and mythologized over time. Experts suggest that the similarities in flood narratives across cultures may indicate a shared historical basis for these stories. This doesn't necessarily mean that a single global flood occurred as described in various texts. Instead, it could point to a series of significant regional floods that had a profound impact on multiple civilizations during a similar time period. The story of Noah's Ark, then, can be seen as part of a larger global tapestry of human experience. It reflects a blend of myth, history, and cultural memory that continues to captivate researchers and believers alike. The widespread nature of these flood narratives underscores their importance in human culture and raises fascinating questions about our shared past. As we continue to unravel the mysteries surrounding Noah's Ark and other flood myths, we must consider both the physical evidence and the cultural context. The next step in our journey takes us deeper into the earth itself, where geological clues may shed light on ancient flood events that could have inspired these enduring stories. Understood. I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. Here's the section. While geological clues offer tantalizing hints about ancient floods, A different kind of evidence has captured the imagination of researchers and believers alike. In 1949, a routine Air Force mission stumbled upon something that would spark decades of debate and speculation. Could a chance photograph hold the key to one of history's greatest mysteries? The story of the Ararat anomaly begins with this unexpected aerial discovery. High on the slopes of Mount Ararat, a peculiar shape caught the eye of USAF personnel, igniting curiosity about what might be hidden beneath the snow and ice. This boat-shaped formation, perched at an elevation of around 15,500 feet, soon became a focal point for those seeking evidence of Noah's Ark. Since its initial discovery, numerous expeditions have attempted to investigate the Ararat anomaly up close. However, accessing the site has proven to be a monumental challenge. The rugged terrain of Mount Ararat presents significant physical obstacles, with treacherous slopes and harsh weather conditions, making exploration difficult and dangerous. Political factors have further complicated research efforts. The anomaly is located in a politically sensitive region of eastern Turkey, near the borders of Iran and Armenia. Tensions in the area have led to restricted access, with Turkish authorities closely controlling who can visit the site and under what conditions. These geopolitical complexities have often hindered scientific investigations, forcing researchers to rely heavily on remote sensing technologies. Satellite imagery has become a crucial tool in studying the Ararat anomaly. Advanced imaging techniques allow researchers to examine the site from afar, providing valuable data without the need for physical access. However, satellite technology has its limitations. Resolution constraints, atmospheric interference, and the challenging topography of the mountain can all affect image quality and interpretation. The debate over whether the Ararat anomaly is a natural formation or a man-made structure continues to divide opinion. Proponents argue that the anomaly's size and shape are consistent with the biblical description of Noah's Ark. They point to what they interpret as regular patterns and structures within the formation, suggesting an artificial origin. Skeptics, however, maintain that the Ararat anomaly is likely a natural geological feature. They argue that the mountain's complex geology can produce formations that may appear artificial from certain angles or under specific lighting conditions. Geologist Lawrence Collins presented a particularly compelling case in 1996, arguing that the anomaly is simply a naturally occurring rock structure rather than the remains of an ancient vessel. Despite the ongoing debate, recent advancements in imaging technology have provided new insights into the Ararat anomaly. High-resolution satellite imagery and sophisticated analysis techniques have allowed researchers to examine the site in unprecedented detail. While these new images have not definitively settled the question of the anomaly's nature, they have provided valuable data for ongoing research and discussion. As the investigation of the Ararat anomaly continues, it serves as a prime example of the challenges faced in the search for Noah's Ark. The intersection of faith, science, and geopolitics creates a complex landscape for researchers to navigate. While satellite evidence has provided intriguing clues, the true nature of the Ararat anomaly remains a subject of intense debate. As we move forward in our exploration, it's important to consider that Mount Ararat is not the only location proposed as the final resting place of Noah's Ark. Other sites in the region have also drawn attention from researchers and explorers, each presenting its own set of challenges and possibilities in the ongoing quest to uncover tangible evidence of this biblical account. Understood. I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. Here's the section. As we contemplate the various potential resting places of Noah's Ark, we're confronted with an even greater mystery. Imagine a wooden ship larger than many modern cruise liners. Now imagine building it with ancient tools. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? The book of Genesis describes the ark as a massive vessel, measuring 300 cubits in length, 50 cubits in width, and 30 cubits in height. In modern measurements, that's approximately 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. To put this in perspective, the ark would have been larger than many wooden ships built in the 19th and early 20th centuries. This immense size has led many to question whether ancient people possessed the engineering capabilities to construct such a vessel. However, when we look at other ancient megastructures, like the pyramids of Egypt or the temples of ancient Greece, we see evidence of impressive architectural and engineering skills that rival those of much later civilizations. So how might Noah and his family have built the ark? One theory suggests they could have used a technique common in ancient maritime construction: mortise and tenon joints. This method creates strong, durable connections between wooden planks, essential for a structure designed to withstand the forces of a global flood. The tools available to ancient shipbuilders were more sophisticated than many people realize. Adzes, chisels, and saws were all used in woodworking, allowing for precise shaping and joining of large timber pieces. These tools, while simple by today's standards, were remarkably effective in skilled hands. Gathering the necessary materials for such a massive project would have been a monumental task in itself. The Bible mentions that God instructed Noah to use gopher wood, a term that has puzzled scholars for centuries. While the exact identity of this wood remains unknown, many experts believe it could refer to cypress or cedar, both known for their durability and resistance to decay. Preservation of the wood would have been crucial for a vessel expected to endure a long period in water. The biblical account mentions that Noah covered the ark with pitch, both inside and out. This method of waterproofing was indeed used in ancient times and would have significantly enhanced the wood's longevity and water resistance. Despite these insights, the feasibility of building a wooden vessel of the ark's size remains a topic of debate among experts. Some argue that the engineering challenges would have been insurmountable with ancient technology. Others point to examples of large wooden ships from later periods, such as the 7th century Byzantine ship known as the Kalchayan, which measured over 100 feet in length, as evidence that impressive feats of wooden shipbuilding were indeed possible. The question of whether ancient people could have built Noah's Ark as described in the Bible remains open. While we have evidence of remarkable ancient engineering achievements and sophisticated woodworking techniques, the sheer scale of the Ark presents unique challenges that continue to fuel scientific and theological discussions. As we ponder the construction of this legendary vessel, we're led to another intriguing question. If such a massive wooden structure was indeed built thousands of years ago, what are the chances it could have survived to the present day? The challenges of preserving such an artifact over millennia are as daunting as those involved in its construction, opening up a whole new avenue of exploration in our quest to uncover the truth behind Noah's Ark. Understood? I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. Here's the section. From ancient wooden vessels to stone-etched tales, we've searched for traces of Noah's story. But what if the most compelling evidence has been beneath our feet all along? Geologists have uncovered a perplexing paradox in the rock layers of our planet, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about Earth's history. Marine fossils have been discovered on mountaintops worldwide, suggesting that these areas were once submerged underwater. This finding has led some researchers to propose that these fossils could potentially support the idea of a global flood. The presence of sea creatures high above current sea levels raises intriguing questions about our planet's past. In 2004, archaeologists studying chevrons, V-shaped ridges that are natural indicators of past flooding in the mountains of Madagascar, made a startling conclusion. These formations, found at high elevations, were interpreted as evidence of massive floods in the distant past. Some researchers even suggested that these floods could have been on a scale comparable to the Great Flood described in the Bible. The discovery of underwater cities around the world has added another layer to this geological mystery. Intriguingly, many of these submerged ruins seem to have been flooded around the same time that the biblical flood is said to have occurred. This correlation has led some to suggest that a massive global flood may have submerged entire civilizations, leaving behind these underwater remnants as silent witnesses to a catastrophic event. However, the interpretation of this geological evidence is far from straightforward. The concept of local versus global floods is hotly debated among geologists. While local floods are well documented throughout Earth's history, the evidence for a singular worldwide flood remains contentious and requires further investigation. Sediment layers found in various geological formations provide crucial insights into Earth's history. These layers reveal patterns of flooding and sediment deposition that some researchers believe could correlate with the timeline of the Great Flood narrative. However, interpreting these layers is complex, as they can also be explained by other geological processes occurring over millions of years. Tectonic activity further complicates the interpretation of flood evidence. Geological events such as earthquakes and volcanic eruptions can lead to significant changes in the landscape, potentially causing widespread flooding. This activity can also alter the position of rock layers, making it challenging to determine the original context of geological findings. The ongoing debate about the historical accuracy of the flood narrative highlights the complexity of interpreting geological evidence. It underscores the need for a multidisciplinary approach that combines geology, archaeology, and other scientific disciplines to piece together Earth's past. As research continues, the scientific community's perspective on the Noah's Ark story and the Great Flood has evolved. More researchers are open to the idea that there may be a historical basis for the story, as evidence from possible Ark remains, ancient texts, and archaeological finds continues to emerge. While a scientific consensus on ancient flood events remains elusive, the geological clues we've uncovered have sparked a renewed interest in understanding our planet's history. These findings challenge us to consider how past catastrophic events may have shaped not only the Earth's surface, but also the stories and myths that have been passed down through generations. As we continue to unravel the mysteries hidden in the Earth's crust, we're left with more questions than answers. How do these geological findings impact our understanding of ancient flood myths? And what implications might they have for our interpretation of other historical accounts? These questions lead us to explore the broader impact of flood theories on modern research and our understanding of human history. Thank you for the clarification. I'll proceed with writing the section using a clear, straightforward style that avoids cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice, provide specific details, and aim for a conversational yet informative tone, appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs without any tags or headings. Here's the section. While geological evidence sparks debate, a more perplexing question looms. What if the Ark has been hiding in plain sight all along, masked by the very forces of nature that shaped our planet? The search for this biblical vessel reveals a surprising truth about the fragility of even the most monumental structures. If Noah's Ark truly existed, its absence from the archaeological record presents a fascinating paradox. The preservation of a massive wooden structure over thousands of years faces numerous challenges, each contributing to the difficulty of finding definitive evidence. One of the primary factors affecting the Ark's potential survival is the material from which it was constructed. According to biblical accounts, the Ark was built from cypress wood, a timber known for its durability. However, even the most resilient wood eventually succumbs to the elements. In dry climates, cypress can last for centuries, but exposure to moisture accelerates decay significantly. Weather and erosion play crucial roles in the degradation of ancient artifacts. The harsh conditions atop Mount Ararat, where many believe the Ark came to rest, include extreme temperature fluctuations, heavy snowfall, and intense UV radiation. These factors could have gradually broken down the Ark's structure over millennia, leaving little for modern researchers to discover. Human activity also presents a significant challenge to preserving ancient structures. Historical records show that large wooden structures were often dismantled and repurposed after they were no longer needed. It's possible that if the Ark survived the immediate aftermath of the flood, its valuable timber could have been salvaged by the survivors for other uses, such as building shelters or tools. The impact of subsequent civilizations cannot be overlooked. As populations grew and expanded into new territories, ancient sites were often built over or incorporated into newer structures. This process of continuous habitation and development could have obscured or destroyed any remaining evidence of the Ark. Despite these challenges, the absence of definitive evidence doesn't necessarily mean the Ark never existed. Archaeologists and historians often emphasize that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The complexities of preserving ancient artifacts and the vast areas yet to be thoroughly explored leave open the possibility of future discoveries. Modern archaeological techniques offer new hope for uncovering hidden structures. Ground-penetrating radar, for example, allows researchers to visualize subsurface features without extensive excavation. These non-invasive methods are particularly valuable for investigating sites that may contain fragile or decomposed organic materials, such as ancient wood. Experts in the field maintain cautious optimism about the potential for future discoveries related to Noah's Ark. While acknowledging the significant challenges, many argue that advancements in technology and ongoing research efforts could yield surprising results. The development of more sensitive detection methods and the exploration of previously inaccessible areas continue to expand the possibilities for archaeological breakthroughs. As we consider the preservation paradox surrounding Noah's Ark, we're reminded of the broader implications this search holds for our understanding of ancient history. The quest for tangible evidence of biblical accounts not only challenges our archaeological methods, but also prompts us to reconsider how we interpret ancient texts and oral traditions. The ongoing search for Noah's Ark, despite the many obstacles, reflects humanity's enduring fascination with our origins and the powerful narratives that have shaped our cultures. As we continue to explore and question, we open ourselves to new perspectives on the intersection of faith, science, and history. Thank you for the clarification. I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. Here's the section. As we explore the intersection of faith, science, and history, we uncover an even more intriguing phenomenon: the Ark's ability to shape our modern world. Have you ever wondered how a 4,000-year-old story continues to influence everything, from your child's toy box to multi-million-dollar entertainment venues? The tale of Noah's Ark has permeated popular culture in ways both obvious and subtle. Children's books and toys often feature colorful depictions of animals marching two by two into a wooden boat, introducing the story to new generations. These playful representations serve as many children's first encounter with the concept of faith and moral responsibility. However, the Ark's cultural impact extends far beyond childhood playthings. In recent years, we've seen the rise of ambitious projects aimed at bringing the Ark to life on a grand scale. In Kentucky, a man named Ken Ham has undertaken the construction of a theme park called the ARK Encounter. This massive attraction features a full-size replica of Noah's Ark built to the specifications described in the Bible. The park represents a bold attempt to bridge the gap between faith and fact, offering visitors a tangible experience of an ancient narrative. The story of Noah's Ark serves as a cornerstone in many cultures, captivating both believers and skeptics. Its enduring appeal has led to numerous explorations and debates about its historical accuracy. This ongoing fascination fuels a thriving industry of books, documentaries, and expeditions, all seeking to unravel the mysteries surrounding the Ark. Different religious and secular groups interpret the Ark narrative in various ways. For some, it's a literal historical account that proves the truth of their faith. Others view it as a metaphorical tale, rich with symbolism and moral lessons about obedience, preservation, and new beginnings. These diverse interpretations have sparked countless discussions and debates, shaping how people view the relationship between faith and science. The influence of the Ark story extends into the realms of art and literature. Countless paintings, sculptures, and literary works have drawn inspiration from this ancient tale. From medieval illuminated manuscripts to modern novels, the Ark continues to capture the imagination of artists and writers, each offering their unique perspective on its meaning and significance. In recent years, the Ark narrative has found new relevance in discussions about climate change and environmental stewardship. Some use the story as a cautionary tale about the consequences of ignoring warnings about impending disasters. Others see it as a model for conservation efforts, drawing parallels between Noah's mission to preserve animal species and modern wildlife protection initiatives. The economic impact of Ark-related tourism and entertainment is substantial. Beyond the Ark Encounter in Kentucky, numerous museums, exhibits, and tours around the world cater to those interested in exploring the Ark's history and significance. These attractions not only generate revenue, but also serve as platforms for education and cultural exchange. As we reflect on the Ark's cultural impact, we see how this ancient narrative continues to shape modern discussions on faith, science, and human responsibility. It challenges us to consider our place in the world and our duty to protect it. The story's enduring allure speaks to its power to inspire, provoke thought, and bridge divides between different worldviews. Looking ahead, the influence of Noah's Ark shows no signs of waning. As technology advances and our understanding of the ancient world grows, new avenues for exploring this timeless tale continue to emerge. What new discoveries might reshape our understanding of the Ark? How will future generations interpret and engage with this powerful narrative? I understand. I'll write the section using a clear, straightforward style with plenty of detail, avoiding cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice and provide specific information rather than summaries. Since no specific style instructions were provided, I'll aim for a conversational yet informative tone that's appropriate for a YouTube video on this topic. I'll write about 533 words in English, structured in paragraphs, without any tags or headings. I'll begin now. Understood. I'll write the conclusion section using a clear, straightforward style that avoids cliches and overly elaborate language. I'll focus on active voice, provide specific details, and aim for an informative tone appropriate for concluding a YouTube video on this topic. Here's the approximately 100-word conclusion. The search for Noah's Ark continues to captivate researchers and enthusiasts alike. While definitive proof remains elusive, recent technological advancements have opened new avenues for exploration. Ground-penetrating radar, satellite imagery, and advanced archaeological techniques offer promising tools for future investigations. The ongoing debate surrounding Noah's Ark highlights the complex relationship between faith and scientific inquiry. As research progresses, it's crucial to approach the topic with an open mind, considering both historical accounts and empirical evidence. For those intrigued by this ancient narrative, numerous resources exist to further explore the subject. From documentaries to scholarly works, the story of Noah's Ark continues to inspire discussion and investigation, inviting each of us to examine the evidence and draw our own conclusions.